In our daily lives, every day, we constantly observe a fascinating, almost inexplicable dynamic in human interaction. Some individuals seemingly effortlessly draw attention to themselves, their words carry weight, and their presence is felt particularly strongly. Whether it's in a corporate meeting, among a group of friends at a party, or even in a grocery store line, they seem to radiate something that makes others listen, respect their opinion, and even subconsciously follow them. These people may not be the loudest, the most conventionally attractive, or the wealthiest, yet their influence is felt everywhere. Meanwhile, others, perhaps no less intelligent, talented, educated, or experienced, often go unnoticed. Their ideas are ignored, their proposals fall flat, and their words, no matter how sensible, lack due impact. They might be experts in their field, possessing deep knowledge, but their contributions get lost in the general noise. This could be a talented but insecure developer in Silicon Valley whose ideas are constantly co-opted by more charismatic colleagues, or a caring but overly gentle mother whose instructions are ignored by her children. We are accustomed to thinking that this is related to inherent charisma, some elusive gift that one either has or doesn't, or to power, position, social status, because the boss is always right and the rich are respected. But what if the reason is deeper and, most importantly, accessible to each of us, regardless of our birth, appearance, or current status? What if there's an alpha effect, not a mystical energy, but a set of specific qualities and behavioral patterns that allows a person to naturally command respect, attract attention, and influence others without resorting to aggression, dominance, manipulation, or dark psychology? This is not about being the loudest or the strongest in a negative sense, not about suppressing others or making them obey out of fear. On the contrary, it's about understanding which qualities and behavioral patterns subconsciously signal inner strength, confidence, and reliability, compelling others to recognize your authority and want to follow you. It's the art of influence based on attraction, not coercion. Let's look at a few vivid examples from American and Western life to better understand how this alpha effect manifests. Example 1. An influential speaker at a public event. Imagine a conference in Washington, D.C., focusing on an important political or social issue. One of the speakers takes the podium. They don't shout, don't gesticulate excessively, and don't try to dominate the audience. Instead, they are calm, their movements are measured, and their voice is deep and confident. They pause, allowing their words to settle in the listeners' minds. They look at the audience directly but not aggressively. Their words are clear, concise, and they are not afraid to admit their mistakes or discuss difficult topics. They demonstrate deep knowledge of the subject but don't lecture. Instead, they share their vision. The audience, even the most skeptical, subconsciously listens. Why? Because their composure, clarity of thought, and authenticity radiate authority. They don't demand respect. They command it. They don't try to be an alpha male in the animalistic sense. They simply exhibit an inner strength that naturally attracts attention and builds trust. Example 2. A confident team leader in the office of a large American IT company in Silicon Valley. A crisis occurs, a crucial project is at risk of failure due to technical issues. The team is in a panic, everyone is nervous, looking for blame. At this moment, the project leader, Sam, enters the room. He doesn't raise his voice or throw tantrums. His face is calm, his movements are measured. He begins to speak slowly, clearly formulating the problem and proposing a plan of action. He listens to each team member, asks clarifying questions, demonstrating understanding and empathy, yet his tone remains firm and confident. He takes responsibility, not shying away from difficulties, and calls the team to calmly seek a solution. The general anxiety gradually subsides, and the team begins to work cohesively. Sam exudes the alpha effect not through harshness, but through composure, clarity, and the ability to be a pillar in chaos. He doesn't yell, "Do it." He says, "We'll get through this," and the team follows him. Example 3. The person who's always the center of attention at a party. Imagine a friendly party at a California college campus. Many people try to be the center of attention, loudly cracking jokes, interrupting others. But there's one person who seems calmer. They don't talk much, but when they say something, everyone listens. They don't try to be the funniest, but their jokes are always insightful and witty. They actively listen to others, ask thoughtful questions, genuinely interested in their lives. They don't try to dominate, yet their presence is felt. This person radiates the alpha effect not through aggression but through a combination of inner confidence, the ability to be a thoughtful listener, and the knack for speaking to the point. They are respected not because they are feared, but because they seem authentic, intelligent, and a reliable conversationalist with whom one feels comfortable. All these examples show that the alpha effect is not a set of external attributes or aggressive traits. It is a profound quality that manifests in a person's ability to radiate self-possession and calmness in any situation, clear and confident communication, authenticity and integrity in words and actions, competence and deep knowledge of their craft, active listening and empathy towards others. It is these qualities that subconsciously signal inner strength, reliability, and competence to others, compelling them to recognize your authority and want to follow you. This is not about being the strongest in the sense of suppression, but about being someone who naturally attracts respect and attention through the value they bring. In the next part, we will delve deeper into each of these qualities and behavioral patterns to understand how they form this powerful alpha effect. In the first part, we questioned why some individuals naturally attract attention and command respect, while others, perhaps equally deserving, go unnoticed. We called this the alpha effect and emphasized that it is not about aggression or manipulation, but rather the result of specific internal qualities and behavioral patterns. Now, we will delve into the most fundamental qualities and behavioral patterns that form this alpha effect, allowing a person to command respect without resorting to dark psychology or coercion. This is not a set of cunning tricks, but a skillful use of how the human brain subconsciously interprets signals of confidence, reliability, and competence. Firstly, it's self-possession and calmness. In our fast-paced and often chaotic world, people instinctively gravitate towards those who can maintain composure under pressure. In situations of chaos or stress, whether it's on the New York Stock Exchange when stocks are plummeting and panic reigns, or during a complex presentation in Silicon Valley where every misstep can cost millions, a person who remains calm radiates control and reliability. This automatically evokes trust, respect, and a sense that they are a pillar to lean on. Imagine a doctor in an emergency room at a large American hospital. Chaos reigns, many patients, noise, calls. Young interns are nervous, flustered, but an experienced senior doctor, despite the critical situation, maintains absolute calmness. Their movements are measured, their voice is steady. They make quick but deliberate decisions, their gaze is clear. This calmness does not mean indifference, but rather is a sign of deep self-control and the ability to think rationally even under immense pressure. Their composure calms not only colleagues but also the patients themselves, who see a reliable anchor in them. They do not try to dominate by shouting. They dominate with calmness. Secondly, it's clear and confident communication. It's not just about the content of your words, but how you deliver them, how you present them. A slow, measured pace of speech, a deep but not low voice within your natural range, and direct but not staring eye contact, so as not to appear aggressive. All these are powerful nonverbal signals of inner strength, conviction, and authority. Fast, disjointed speech with a high pitch and darting eyes, on the other hand, signals nervousness, insecurity, and a lack of control. Recall how at a press conference in Washington, D.C., a high-ranking official answers sharp questions from journalists. They don't rush, they pause, their answers are thoughtful and clear. Their calm, measured manner of speaking makes everyone in the room listen intently, and their words gain weight. Even if the question is uncomfortable, their delivery creates the impression that they have everything under control and are not afraid to answer. This is not an attempt to suppress, but a demonstration that you are fully in control of the situation and your thoughts. People subconsciously gravitate towards such clarity and confidence. Thirdly, it's authenticity and integrity. In a world full of pretense and a desire to please everyone, people value sincerity and consistency. If your words and actions align, if you don't try to be someone you're not, if your principles don't change depending on advantage, you appear reliable, predictable, and trustworthy. This creates a powerful sense of personal integrity. This is especially important in Western society, where individuality, directness, and authenticity are valued. Think of a successful entrepreneur from Austin, Texas, who openly discusses their failures, doesn't try to appear perfect, but firmly adheres to their principles and values. They might not be the most politically correct speaker, but their directness and honesty command deep respect. People trust them because they are real. They are not afraid to be themselves, and this authenticity is attractive. Fourthly, it's competence and deep knowledge of your craft. Nothing commands more respect or adds more weight to your words than a real, time-tested ability to solve problems, offer valuable insights, and be an expert in your field. When you demonstrate deep, practical knowledge of your craft, you become a valuable resource that people turn to for advice and help. Recall an experienced surgeon who calmly and precisely explains a complex operation to a patient, or a lead NASA engineer who explains the nuances of space flight. Their words carry weight not because they speak loudly, but because they are backed by vast experience, knowledge, and successful results. They speak with authority because they know. Their competence is not an empty claim, it is a proven reality that evokes unconditional respect. This is not about being a know-it-all, but about a deep understanding of your field and the ability to apply that knowledge in practice. Fifthly, it's active listening and empathy. Paradoxically, by showing genuine interest in others and truly knowing how to listen, you significantly increase your status and influence. In a world where everyone strives to speak, a person who knows how to listen becomes a rare commodity. Active listening means not just waiting for your turn to speak, but fully immersing yourself in what the other person is saying, trying to understand their point of view, their feelings, their needs. Imagine a career consultant in California who, instead of immediately giving advice, carefully listens to their client, asks clarifying questions, and demonstrates understanding and empathy for their fears and aspirations. The client feels valued, understood, and not just another case. This opens them up to the consultant's influence because they feel trust. People are more likely to follow those who hear them and who can put themselves in their shoes. This empathy creates a deep connection and makes your influence positive and sustainable. All these qualities, self-possession, clear communication, authenticity, competence, and empathy, create the image of a person who doesn't just dominate a conversation or group, but naturally leads. They lead not through coercion or intimidation, but through the value they bring, through their reliability, their ability to be a pillar, and their ability to inspire. This person doesn't demand respect. They radiate it because they are reliable, competent, and capable of influencing others not through coercion, but through who they are. In the next, concluding part of the article, we will emphasize that the alpha effect is not a set of manipulation techniques, but the result of cultivating these internal qualities that naturally evoke respect and a desire to follow you. We have come a long way in exploring the astonishing power of the alpha effect, discovering that it is not linked to inherent charisma or power, but is rather the result of cultivating specific internal qualities and behavioral patterns. In the first part, we realized the paradox of how some individuals naturally attract attention while others remain unnoticed. In the second part, we delved into the fundamental qualities that form this effect: self-possession and calmness, clear and confident communication, authenticity and integrity, competence and deep knowledge of one's craft, as well as active listening and empathy. Now it's time to bring all this knowledge together and understand how the alpha effect can become your conscious strategy in life, transforming your influence and the quality of your relationships. In conclusion, we emphasize that the alpha effect is not a set of techniques for suppressing or manipulating people, not cunning tricks to get what you want against another's will. We are by no means talking about dark psychology or an attempt to exploit others' weaknesses. On the contrary, it is rather the result of cultivating certain internal qualities that naturally, without coercion, evoke respect, admiration, and a desire to follow you. It is the ability to be a leader, not by demonstrating aggression, not by raising your voice, but by radiating calmness, competence, integrity, and genuine interest in others. True, sustainable influence and respect do not come from external ostentatious dominance, not from loud declarations or threats, but from inner strength and a willingness to bring value to any interaction. When you radiate these qualities, people instinctively gravitate towards you because they sense a pillar of support, reliability, and a source of wisdom in you. Your presence is felt, your words carry weight, and your opinion is valued, regardless of your formal status or position. This allows you not only to achieve your goals more effectively and harmoniously, but also to build stronger, deeper, and more authentic relationships based on mutual respect and genuine recognition. Consider how regular practice of these qualities will help you become the person whose presence is felt, whose words carry weight, and whose opinion is valued. This requires conscious effort, but the results will be incredible. How to cultivate alpha effect qualities. 1. Practice self-possession and calmness. In any stressful situation, pause, take a deep breath in and out. Consciously slow down your reactions. Recall the image of a calm leader and try to match it. This trains your nervous system and brain to be more resilient under pressure. Start small, in traffic, with flight delays, during an argument. Gradually, this will become your second nature. 2. Develop clear and confident communication. Focus on how you speak. Practice a slow, measured pace of speech. Ensure your voice resonates from your lower chest, not your throat. Establish direct but benevolent eye contact. Avoid filler words. Before an important conversation, think through key ideas and formulate them concisely. This will not only improve your influence but also help you think more clearly. 3. Strive for authenticity and integrity. Be yourself. Your words and actions should align with your beliefs. Do not try to please everyone or pretend to be someone you are not. Admit your mistakes, be honest but not rude. Your integrity is your most powerful asset because it builds trust. People value sincerity even if it's not always convenient. 4. Deepen your competence. Continuously learn and grow in your field. Become an expert at what you do. The deeper your knowledge, the more confidently you will speak and the more value you can bring. Your competence should be backed by real experience and the ability to solve problems. Don't be afraid to ask questions and admit what you don't know, but always strive to learn it. 5. Practice active listening and empathy. This is perhaps the most paradoxical but powerful quality. Listen more than you speak. Truly delve into what others are saying, trying to understand their point of view, their feelings, their needs. Ask clarifying questions. Show empathy. When people feel heard and understood, they open up and are drawn to you. This creates a deep connection and makes your influence positive and sustainable. Real-life examples where this can be applied. At work, instead of interrupting colleagues, listen actively. When it's your turn to speak, speak slowly, clearly, and to the point, demonstrating a deep understanding of the topic. Be the one who remains calm when everyone else is panicking. Your composure and clarity will stand out. In the family, when communicating with loved ones, especially in contentious situations, exercise self-possession. Speak calmly, pause. Listen actively, trying to understand their true feelings and needs. Your authenticity and desire to understand, rather than dominate, will strengthen relationships. In new social groups, instead of trying to impress, focus on showing genuine interest in others. Ask questions, listen, look for common ground. Your calm confidence and openness will attract people. Ultimately, the alpha effect is a path to gaining inner freedom and the ability to live in accordance with your principles, inspiring others by your example. It is not a pursuit of power for power's sake, but a natural manifestation of your inner strength that makes you someone others can rely on, listen to, and want to follow. This will not only lead to success in your endeavors, but also fill your life with deeper meaning and genuine, respectful relationships. Become someone who radiates authority not because the situation demands it, but because it is your true nature.